Rumi is the best-selling poet in America, but most Americans have never read him. They quote him like a guru, they print him on yoga pants and whisper his lines in meditation circles. But what if I tell you, the real Rumi, the scholar, the mystic, the Muslim, would hardly recognize the words people today say he wrote. And this isn't just a problem with translation. It's something deeper, something uncomfortable. Like when someone reads the quote, "Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love," and they think it means quit your job and start a travel blog. But Rumi wasn't talking about chasing random dreams. He was talking about surrendering to God's will, letting your heart be pulled towards truth, towards the divine. Or take this quote, "You have to keep breaking your heart until it opens." It sounds emotional, romantic, like he's talking about love and heartbreak. But the truth is, Rumi wasn't talking about dating or relationships. He was talking about spiritual pain, the pain of ego breaking, so God's love can enter. These quotes are beautiful, but they've been taken out of context. People are turning deep spiritual wisdom into Instagram captions. And when that happens, we lose the real meaning of Rumi. Rumi, the 13th century Sufi mystic, today he's the most famous poet in America. But behind the love and admiration, there's an irony that many don't see. Some Americans actually dislike Rumi, not because of who he was, but what he's become in the West. Most people don't meet Rumi through his real poetry. They meet him on Pinterest, in yoga studios, or on scented candles. They see short quotes cropped and filtered, made to sound deep, but easy to digest. What you seek is seeking you. Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in another form. Yes, these are Rumi's words, but they've been pulled out of context, stripped of meaning. He wrote them from a place of spiritual fire, from a deep longing for God, from burning the ego. But when turned into captions or tweets, they become like fast food spirituality. People looking for real depth feel something's off, and slowly frustration sets in. There's more you should know. Rumi wasn't just a poet, he was a Muslim scholar. When he spoke of wine or dancing, he meant spiritual ecstasy, loving God. But in the West, his roots are often erased. Allah becomes the universe, prayer becomes energy. After 9/11, publishers made Rumi safe for the market. They removed the Islamic elements to sell more books. To those who know the real Rumi, this feels like a theft of meaning, culture, and soul. Now add the tension between East and West. America values logic, self-help, and independence. Rumi calls for the opposite: surrender, self-loss, dying before you die. To some that sounds scary or too religious. So he becomes a battleground of ideas. And then comes commercialization, bright covers, catchy blurbs, and best-selling translations. But many of these translations aren't true to the source. Some translators never even learned Persian. Coleman Barks, the most famous of them all, worked from English versions, not the original Persian texts. His versions sound beautiful, but often miss the weight and the wound behind Rumi's words. Take this line: "The wound is the place where the light enters you." It sounds comforting, right? But Rumi's original meaning is deeper. The heart breaks open in longing so God's light can pour in. One version is a soft hug, the other is spiritual surgery. And when Persian or Muslim scholars speak up, they're told, don't gatekeep spirituality, but imagine erasing a black poet's culture just to make them easier to sell. There'd be outrage. But with Rumi, this erasure is somehow seen as normal. Why? Because Eastern identity is often treated as exotic or even disposable. But under all this is a deeper issue, a spiritual hunger, a crisis of meaning. Many in the West call themselves spiritual but not religious. They want connection but without rules or structure. And a sanitized Rumi seems perfect for that. No rituals, no discipline, just good vibes. But here's the truth. Rumi's path had structure, submission, real inner work. People quote, "Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. I'll meet you there." But that field isn't for escaping truth. It comes after the hard journey, not instead of it. Without that depth, even beautiful words feel empty, and people know it. So most Americans don't hate Rumi himself. They dislike the hollow version sold to them. They can feel the sacred being packaged like a scented candle. And deep down, they want something real, because Rumi isn't soft. He speaks of burning in love and letting ego die. He's not your self-help guru. He's your spiritual challenger. So if any of this speaks to your soul, go deeper. Read Rumi through scholars who know his language and respect his roots. Listen to voices from the lands he came from the faith he practiced and the fire he walked through. Don't love Rumi as just a quote machine. Love him as a guide who leads you through pain and into light. And if you're ready for that journey, you can find real Rumi right here on this channel.